Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Doris Ballard. This program is available on Concord TV Channel 22 and on demand at yourconcordtv.org. We are also on our YouTube channel and on iTunes as a free podcast. And my guest today, if you want to look at this lovely young lady, she is Brooke Mills, Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen 2016. You are a junior at Concord High School, and welcome, Brooke.
Hi, thank you for
nice
having
to
me.
see you. I was commenting on how lovely you look, and the tiara and your whole. You certainly have not. This is not your first time in a pageant, I'm sure. I'd like to hear a little bit about how you ended up getting into into pageants, and what have you, how have you grown since the first one? You've been doing it, what, 4 years?
Yes.
So how did you ever get into this?
Well, my mom was actually Miss New Hampshire in 1995, so she's definitely my big influence.
And your mom is?
My mom is Stephanie Mills, owner of Crossroads Chiropractic.
And I think Stephanie Mills is known very well all throughout this the area, yes. And you look very much like your mother, actually, and that's a compliment.
Thank
all right.
you.
So I digress. So anyway, going back, you started out, your mother was in pageants, and was it something that you wanted to do as well?
Of course. I loved the idea, and I've grown up in this program. It was such an awesome program. It gives so many great role models, and I loved the idea, so I dove right in when I was old enough.
And you had someone to mentor you, of course. And your mom. So what have you learned over the years? Were you very young? How old were you when you did your first pageant?
I started in 8th grade in the Miss America organization. So I've definitely grown a lot. Now I'm a junior at Concord High School. I've learned a lot about myself. I've grown in confidence, and I think I'm very put together now, more than I was in 8th grade.
So you have to be able to speak off the cuff like you're doing right now, and that's, to me, when I watch pageants, I'm always thinking they throw questions at you. How do you prepare yourself for that? I mean, how do you learn to be able to speak off the cuff like that, where you don't even know what's coming at you, like right now?
Well, I think that's kind of come with the program too. There's a lot of interviews, and I've also competed in local titles, which is why I'm Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen. And my mom has helped me a lot with preparing, like I said, so she has been a huge help. And I think it kind of just came with the program, and I'm able to grow, and you have to be passionate about what you're speaking about.
And speaking of passionate, every one who is crowned in these pageants has a community service platform. So what is yours?
Mine is concussion awareness. I chose this platform because I suffered a concussion my freshman year of my mandatory gym class. In my school, it's mandatory to have a baseline testing done when you participate in a sport, but not in a gym class. So one of my big messages is to encourage kids and parents to have their impact testing done so you can have a baseline if you were to have a concussion. So I didn't have one because I didn't participate in any sports.
So you couldn't tell on the changes in your brain from, I had no idea that they even did that.
I couldn't tell when I was able to go back to school and when I was fully recovered from my concussion, or when I was able to go to dance again.
So you're a dancer as well?
I was a dancer, yes.
Yeah. So you don't dance anymore?
I can't dance anymore. I still get a lot of headaches. I'll get very dizzy. My stomach will hurt. My head will hurt when I dance. So
when you had the concussion, when it happened, what was the feeling? What was it like?
Well, I was knocked out. I blacked out for a couple of seconds, and I was on the gym. I was in my gym class. One of the kids kind of was like, "Are you okay?" And I was a little out of it. Didn't really know where I was. I walked to. He walked me actually to the girls' bathroom, and I saw this big red mark on my cheek, and I said, "Oh, that really, really hurts. My head hurts, and I'm not really seeing clearly." This was at the end of my freshman year, so I knew where the nurse's office was in my big high school, and I couldn't find it. I had such a hard time, so she went through the checklist and all the signs and the symptoms of a concussion and called my mom up and had to give her that hard phone call that it looks like I have suffered a concussion.
And it seems to be that you've picked a platform that is quite a bit in the news these days.
It is.
So this all, your platform came about as a result of the discussion of concussion or coincidentally?
I think it's coincidentally. I didn't really know much about concussions. It wasn't in my life and in the media enough for me to be learning about it very much. I knew about the NFL and some of the cases and what was going on, but it really hit home for me when I got to realize. I wish I didn't have to have the experience to realize what some people were going through, but it helps me relate to a lot of people. Right now I'm working with the Brain Injury Association of New Hampshire, and I'm a peer-to-peer speaker, so I'm touring the state of New Hampshire in middle schools and high schools, and I give presentations about to take a concussion seriously and not to bully people who have a concussion.
Are you saying that people are being bullied that have a concussion?
Well, in statistics, there's a lot of people that aren't reporting their concussions, and this is because they're afraid of their accidents. They are afraid of being bullied.
They don't want to be teased or...
It's not a visible injury. So if I walk around with a cast on my arm, you're going to know something happened to me and I went to a doctor and something happened. But in the brain, you can't see that. So people are a little uncomfortable with that and can't really realize. A lot of people are also afraid of being taken out of their school or out of their sport. So I really just have to drive home that point that it's important to take care of your brain.
What do you get for a reception when you go on these presentations peer-to-peer? What type of reception are you getting?
Well, a lot of kids, I usually ask, how many of you have had a concussion? And you see a good amount of hands go up in the air. And then I love at the end of my presentations when kids will come up to me and either share their personal story or a friend that had a concussion or wanting to know a little bit more about one aspect of my recovery.
Now there's a film, a very popular film now called Concussion. Did you see the film?
Of course.
What did you take from that film that could help you perhaps with your presentations?
Well, that was one of my first times in the movie theater. The movies give me headaches and it hurts my eyes and light, so it was worth it though. I had to fight my concussion symptoms to see a concussion movie. It was crazy.
That's a revelation to you, that you can't even go watch a movie without having it. What about lighting like this? Does that affect you?
Light, I can't drive at night in my car. It'll hurt my eyes a lot. And when I'm driving, I can't close my eyes. So light at night really bothers me.
So there's no is there reparation that can happen? I mean, can it get better?
I'd like to think that it will get better. I talked to Chris Nowinski, and he wrestled with WWE, and he also played football for Harvard, and he told me that after his major concussion, it took him 5 years to feel like he did before his concussion.
But the important point is not to put yourself in a position where it can happen over and over again, such as like in, maybe soccer or especially football, right? All right, well, it sounds like you're a lovely young lady who really has a passion for something that's going to have a positive impact on lives. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
But especially congratulations for winning your title. If you're just tuning in, this is Community Conversations, a program produced by Concord TV. I'm Doris Ballard, your host, and my guest today is Brooke Mills. She's Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen of 2016 and a junior at Concord High School. Now take us into the world of pageants. Let's talk about a little bit about how you became involved in this particular one. So what happens? I mean, from you fill out an application to, and then you do audition. How does it start?
Well, you could start by going to the Miss New Hampshire organization's website and finding a resume. You have to write an essay about your platform and about some of the things that you've done, and write up a resume. So you get started with all that. This was my first local that I competed in, and I was first runner-up. And then I thought it would be wonderful for it to be my last. So I'm aging out of the competition this year, and I will be aging into the Miss New Hampshire program. So I'm very excited, and this was my first title to compete in and my last one, which I won. So I was very excited.
Well, now, do you have to do any talent part of the competition in the pageant? What was your talent?
Well, my talent for 2 years, ironically, was dancing. And since my concussion, I have not been able to dance. So I have found a love and passion for singing. So I'll be singing Mercy by Duffy this February 13th.
February 13th, and you'll be singing it at Pinkerton Academy?
Yep.
And how did that all come about?
Well,
Were you invited as Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen to perform? Does that happen a lot?
well, it's the state pageant. So all the girls.
So now you're going to the state pageant.
Yes.
So this is another level. There are different levels in pageants, aren't there?
Yes,
Right.
everybody can compete for locals, and then candidates can go at large to the state pageant and
So you'll represent the state.
the capital area. Yes.
So we'll have to be rooting for you. So you're going to be singing, and this is all happening at Pinkerton Academy. So are you? You must be excited. Yes.
I'm very excited.
Is there anything that you're doing to prepare for this big day? It's in the evening, is it?
It's at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So the public invited?
Yes.
I have to say, going to a pageant is a great experience as an audience member to watch the talented young ladies perform. It's much more than a beauty pageant. It is. These are very poised, as you can see right now, intelligent and very passionate about what you care about. So I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
So I encourage people to go to some of these competitions. All right, so the different phases of competition. Now that you're Miss Capital Area Local, right? And when you say local, are you talking about Concord or a region or?
There's different what we call locals. So there's a Miss Hooksit's Outstanding Teen and a Miss Manchester's Outstanding Teen in Portsmouth. So all the different areas.
So
have
Miss Capital
representatives.
Area, would that be Concord?
Concord and I think Bow is included.
yeah.
Surrounding, yes.
Okay, so that's why it's called Miss Capital Area. So answering questions, do they do that at the, will they be doing that? Did they do
Yes.
it locally, and will they be doing it at the state?
Of course.
What are some of the questions they will ask?
Well, they could ask you anything. So you have to be prepared for anything and everything.
So you really need to know a little bit about politics?
Yes, I make sure I'm on top of all the news and things that are happening in the state and in the country. It's very important to be able to speak about anything that they ask you.
Give me an example of some of the questions that have been posed to you. Do you remember them? Or not the exact question, but you know, the topic.
They could ask you who you would vote for if you were to cast a ballot.
I don't want to put
Next
you on the
Tuesday.
spot, but I have to hear the answer to that question. And I'm sure the answer would change from months ago to now.
Yes.
So what are you? All right, I'm going to ask you a question. What are you looking for in the next president of the United States?
Well, I'm definitely looking at both sides. I can see some arguments and others. I'm looking very closely into what I think and what I believe and who will be the best representative.
And what do you think and what do you believe? I mean, what's important to you at your age? You're, how old are you now?
I'm 16.
You're 16? Oh.
So I won't be voting.
Yeah, there you go. So, but you're paying attention clearly, so that's good. So, what's important to you as Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen for the future of the country?
Well, I think we need a leader that will really stand up for our country and be a great representative. Also keeping everybody safe in our country and just having plans to be put in action when they are elected.
Now, you are competing with a lot of other lovely young, very talented, intelligent young ladies. What is it like, you know, backstage? It's competitive. Have you made any lasting friends? What is it like in competition with others that are wanting the same thing as you want?
Well, this will be my 4th year, so I have made many friends. This year I'm very, very excited that I will have my sister competing with me for the first time.
You're excited, but how old is your sister?
She's 14. She just
14.
turned 14. Sorry, Emily.
Oh, Emily, that's all right. So you must be a mentor to your sister as well, I would think.
I would think so.
Yeah. And what was the one thing that you could say about? I know your mother mentored you for this as well, having been also representing the state of New Hampshire in pageants. And what was the one thing you would like that you learned from her that you would like to pass on to possibly your daughter someday, or your sister even?
Well, I think I just want them to be comfortable and have confidence, because that can get you through anything and everything, whether it's through pageantry, whether it's through school and life. So I hope that she is confident with what she's doing and happy with what she's doing.
So what are your goals for the future? I'm interested in knowing what someone who is a Miss Capital Area Outstanding Teen 2016, what are your goals, Brooke Mills, for your future?
Well, I'm looking forward to becoming Miss New Hampshire's Outstanding Teen next February. Fingers crossed. Come support me. And maybe one day Miss New Hampshire. My mom owns Crossroads Chiropractic, so I would love to be a chiropractor with her someday.
So you'll just continue in the family business, and so you're in the health business for real. I mean, how does what you want to do for a career fit in with your concussion awareness? Do you think it's something that you'll want to do for the rest of your life?
Well, when I talked to Chris Nowinski, he's a public speaker. He wrote a book, and he's also in the movie Head Games. It's a documentary, not a movie. And he has just done such a great job telling the world and spreading his message. So I definitely look up to him, and I think this will be something that is really ongoing. I created my own organization called Lessen the Impact. I've also been doing blogs to help relate to people who are suffering from a concussion or know somebody suffering from a concussion.
So it's like something happened that's negative for you that you're turning it into a real positive.
I think that's the only way to look at it.
Right, and that you are, as Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen in this year, it is a platform, it's almost it's serendipitous that you are in this position. So it's a shame that that happened to you, but on a positive note, you're really helping others. Right, that's great. You want to share anything else? Or let's talk again before we leave the program here. February 13th, the state pageant is on then at Pinkerton Academy, and the public can attend. And how can they support you?
Well, they can attend. I think tickets are around $20. It starts at 8 p.m. at Pinkerton Academy.
And you'll be singing that, and you're singing again. What are you singing?
Mercy by Duffy.
Wow. All right. So a singer, a dancer, but can't dance much more because of unfortunately, the concussion, but still a dancer, and very poised young lady, very talented, and I think you're going to really have a brilliant career in the future. So I'm wishing you well. Hopefully, maybe we'll be able to go check it out, and good luck. Good luck. You have one final word to leave with our listeners or viewers?
Well, you can check out my organization at www.lessentheimpact.org, or check out the Miss New Hampshire organization at missnh.org.
We have just been speaking with the lovely Brooke Mills, the Miss Capital Area's Outstanding Teen 2016. Thank you very much for being on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And thank you for tuning and watching and to Community Conversations. I'm Doris Ballard. Have a great day.